Hello everybody, welcome to Polyglot Hacks, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can start speaking in any language from day one. Stay tuned. Alright, so I want to tell you a story before I get into this video. So I was recently talking to one of my friends and we were talking about how hard it is to start speaking in a language. And I asked him the question, do you speak as much as you practice writing? That's right, do you speak as much as you practice writing? So do you spend the same amount of time to practice speaking as you do writing? And I guarantee for any of you who are trying to learn a language that no, you are not. And the problem is that speaking is hard, it's challenging, it puts you way out of your comfort zone, and you need to find a way to get out of your comfort zone and stay there. Also, another thing that I've noticed in university is that speaking is not a priority. The problem is that there's only one professor and there's 30 or 35 students. Now, how are you going to get all 35 of those students to be able to practice speaking at the same time? Well, you can't. So what happens? Your speaking skills lag way behind what you can do in writing, and that's the reason why people don't feel comfortable speaking, is because it wasn't even practiced from the beginning. So what can you do to improve your speaking? Well, that's the whole point of this video, and I'm going to be introducing you to something I call word diagrams. And these word diagrams really help in creating sentences right from the beginning, and I'm going to show you how from day one I was practicing my Chinese. Alright, so in order to demonstrate how you can start speaking from day one, I made this diagram for you. I'm going to be using pinyin from Mandarin, which is a language used to learn the sounds of the language. So in this diagram, I have the words 我 and 是, which mean I am when put next to each other in pinyin. Then I have four words, nouns, and they are 老师, 医生, 学生, and 爸爸. These words mean teacher, doctor, student, and dad in Mandarin. If you use each of these words once with 我是, that's four sentences that you made in Mandarin. Next, we have the word 不, which negates sentences in Mandarin. For example, if you wanted to say I'm not a teacher, it would be 我不是老师. This negation gives you another four sentences that you can say in Mandarin. Keep in mind now that you are at a total of 8 sentences. Now we're at the point where we can change the subject. Instead of saying I am, you can say you are or he or she is. If you use both of these subjects to create new sentences, that's another 16 sentences that you can make in the language. Your new total for the number of sentences you can now make in Mandarin is 24 sentences. We didn't even use all the subjects in Mandarin. If we did, there would be another 16 sentences that we could have made. That would be 40 sentences in total using all the subjects in the language. Now, saying 40 sentences from the first day that you start will provide a lot of practice for days to come. If you still want to add variation, you can change the verb. Instead of using the verb to be, use the verb to have. This will give you plenty more to practice with. So to summarize, I made a list of the variations we went over. Number 1, change the subject. So if you're always using I, you can use you, he, they, we. Number 2, negation. So if you're always saying I am or I have, try saying I'm not or I don't have. Number 3, change up the verb. So if you're always saying I am or I have, you can say I like or I love, and that'll give you a little variation, especially when you're a beginner. And number 4, change the noun. So you could change the person or place or thing that you're using at the end of the sentence for these basic sentences. So for example, we use teacher, dad, student, words like that. So you can change up those words to add a little variation and expand your vocabulary. So as you can see, there's really no excuse that you have for not being able to speak a language. All I did was I had 4 nouns and I had a subject, which is I, you, he, she, and I had a verb simply like to be, and that's all you need to start speaking. And I showed you that you can make multiple combinations just out of simple basic sentences. So here's my challenge. Create a word diagram in the language that you're learning. It may not be Chinese, but it'll work for any language, trust me. I've done it for French and Spanish and it works absolutely fine. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this amazing content that I gave you, my awesome little secrets that I usually don't share, but I'm giving it to you just because I love you so much. Please comment, like, subscribe, share, and holla back at your boy.